Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you're having an amazing day. I want to talk to you about a topic that is near to my heart, the fear of being seen. This has been coming up so much in the past couple of weeks that I felt like it was time to talk about, and time to talk about live with you. And working as someone that works with soulpreneurs, healers, spiritual beings, light workers across the world, this is something that is often, and what I want to offer you today is a perspective of a couple different things. I want to offer you the perspective of the fear of being seen when it comes to the spiritual perspective, as well as a logical perspective. And I'm going to share with you the RRT, which I'm starting to talk about more and more here recently, if you've seen my stories and things like that. I want to share with you that perspective as well, and offer you like a different way of looking at it and a different way to heal, clear, and release this, right? So if you're new here, my name is Kristen Jones. I'm a spiritual business coach for healers and intuitive quantum healer, and is part of my mission to help healers, light workers, and soulpreneurs just really unshackle and unbecome all the bullshit, limiting beliefs and things that society has placed on you from this lifetime and lifetimes before, so you can step into your power, your potential, and what it is that you know you're here to do. So there's my elevator speech. Hi. Okay, so, all right, let me put my phone on vibrate so it doesn't do that again. All right. If you have any questions, or raise your hand, give me an emoji let's do that. Give me an emoji if you are someone that struggles or has struggled with the fear of being seen. So I want to talk about the spiritual aspect first. And when I say the spiritual aspect of this, I'm going to talk a little bit about the witch wound. I'm not going to dive super deep into it because I think these two topics by themselves could be a whole separate live, which maybe I'll do that. But give me emoji if that's something that you have had a hard time with. What does this actually look like? This can look like, so let's talk about it from like an entrepreneur or even a healer. Even if you don't have a healing business, this can look like hiding in the healer or the witchy closet. I was on a podcast prep Zoom call yesterday with a really beautiful soul that lives in the UK, and she was like, I really feel like it's like we're hiding in the witchy closet, we're hugging our brooms, and we're like so afraid to go out, and what we don't know is it's actually like our mind is not understanding that it is safe in this lifetime. We're like hiding in this corner, right? So we're afraid of being seen, or afraid of being heard, afraid of showing our gifts or sharing our gifts and abilities. Afraid to go live, afraid to do a video, afraid to do the stories or show your face on a story. I can't tell you how many times that I have talked to these powerful fucking healers that are like, but can I run a business without showing my face? I'm like, well, yeah, but my real question for you is why? Why? Because of course you can. You can run a business however the fuck you want, but why? Why are you hiding? You're afraid to do the post. Maybe you're afraid of even something like writing the email or writing a blog post. I have talked to a couple high-level healers, an author, and someone who has a very successful podcast in the past 2 weeks, who have, we're going to have collaborations together, and their unconscious mind kept, on my side, even though I knew this wasn't true, but like on the outside, it could look like they're kind of flaking out, which I knew that wasn't the case, because I know there's always a deeper reason. Like, look, I'm intuitive, I get it. But also, like, their unconscious mind was blocking them from showing up because it was scary for them. They were having this fear of visibility. And like, when we don't know what we don't know, and our unconscious mind is always trying to keep us safe. But I'm going to dive into that in a minute because I love this topic. Okay. So when it comes to the witch wound and the spiritual side of the fear of being seen, why does this show up, or you know, how is it possible that it's showing up in this lifetime? So we are high vibrating souls having a human experience. When we are going from lifetime to lifetime, it is my belief that, and you can take what resonates, leave what doesn't, okay? Always, like always, with anyone, me included. But it is my belief that as our soul decides to travel from, whether it's like this planet or some other thing that we're doing, or, lifetime to lifetime on planet Earth, that we're carrying all of these things with us. Now, if you identify with being a witch in a past life, this can show up in this lifetime because why? Because, let's even just think about what we know to be true about the Salem witch trials. What happened? Women with powerful gifts and abilities who are healers, doulas, any type of doing any kind of energy work, any kind of healer, were deemed as a witch. And so if they weren't called out, they were in hiding, because the fuck if I'm going to be burned at the stake or drowned or, reprimanded for being a healer and in my power, right? So of course we were hiding. Of course we were freaked out. Of course. It makes so much sense. And, even on the flip side, if we weren't just in hiding, possibility that you were burned at the stake or you were drowned or all of these other awful things that they were doing to these healers, these women in past lives. Now, this shows up in this lifetime because it carries with our soul. And yes, you can heal it in this lifetime. I'm actually going to do a podcast episode here in the near future with someone and dive deep into this, because I have a firm belief that because we are souls having a human experience, whatever we heal, clear, and free in this lifetime is our soul. It's part of our soul. For me, it's why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it clear for us? And so we have this opportunity in this lifetime now. And it's not for us to be like, oh my God, if I don't clear the things, I'm going to have to come back to this bullshit again. No. It's what is it that I'm feeling aligned to? What is feeling free and clear? What keeps showing up for me? You guys that are watching this, you are healers, you are here, you are light workers, probably soulpreneurs, or desiring to run a soulful business, a healing business to help people with your mission, right? And if you're watching this, you're probably someone that is yeah, that's me. So how do we clear this when it comes to healing the witch wound? So first things first, link in bio, I have a free Healing the Witch Wound, it's actually workbook, a free Healing the Witch Wound workbook. And this will be really great first step for you. But let me give you a tip right now. I want you to, and this can show up in this lifetime as well. And we talk about this with the sisterhood wound, but when was there a time in this lifetime even that you were shut down when you were seen? Maybe you raised your hand in a classroom and you got the answer wrong. Maybe people snickered at you, or maybe you were doing something that you really kind of didn't want to do, or maybe you fumbled or messed something up and then you were don't want to do that again, right? And so the inner child is a really great space to start with to clear and heal these things. The other thing that I want to offer you is the perspective of the healing the inner child. Oh my gosh, it just totally left. So I'm wondering if I meant to share that. Hold on. Come back to me. The healing the inner child. Oh, I got it. So it is the stacking the proof. I don't know where that went, but there it is again. So the stacking the proof. I love, love, love this. This is something I do with my Rising Phoenix clients all the time. Even my Business Academy students, all my clients, I love this. I want you to think back when a time was that it was actually safe for you to show up and be you. That you were fully accepted and embraced as who you are and what you do. Take this a step further. When was a time that you shared your gifts or your abilities, or it just even happened in passing where you lightly mentioned that you were a healer or you had psychic gifts and abilities or whatever? And what was their response? And I want you to think back to a time when it was the response was totally neutral. It was cool. That's awesome. Or, ooh, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. Right? Because what mind is doing, I'm going to talk more about this in just a moment. What mind is doing is it's these core memories of times where it seemed traumatic for us, or it seemed like that was not safe. I don't want to do that again. So bam. So it's imprinted like a beautifully seared steak if you like to eat meat, or a footprint in the sand, it was there in your mind. And what we can do is we can allow ourselves to stack the proof and look at how every single day up until this point, we survived. You survived every single day. And when we think about the times that we showed up authentically as ourselves, being in our power, even if it was like, I'm scared as shit, but I'm still going to show up and be seen and be visible in whatever way that feels aligned for me, I survived. It was uncomfortable, but I survived. And so allowing yourself the opportunity to stack the proof and coming back to that. And so do this exercise. I want you to just journal, and I want you to think, when else was a time that I shared my gifts and abilities? Or when else did I, share, like maybe it was even like I was wearing a crystal and somebody asked about it, or like when else was a time? Or when was a time that I showed up and I shared something and somebody whispered, hey, me too? Because that happens, right? As we come out of the healing closet, the healer closet, the witchy closet, the broom closet, that other people, other women, even like family members, which is so crazy to me. And that one, I was like, whoa, how did that happen? But that was interesting for me. And so how did that turn out for me? And how can I bring that feeling back into my body? So continue to think, if there was another time, when would it be? If there was another time, when would it be? When else? When else? And ask yourself those things. I want you to journal through them, and I want you to cultivate the feeling of safety in your body. It is safe to be seen. It is safe to be seen. Even showing up in stories and be like, I put my face on my stories. Yay, go me, right? And celebrate yourself and be like, wow, I didn't die. I know this sounds really dramatic, but truly, like, our brain is literally scanning for the threat. So I didn't die. And this is part of healing that witch wound, where, yeah, we can do past life regressions. Of course we can, which I do have in my Healing the Witch Wound Masterclass. Yes, you can get healing in the Akashic Records done. Yes, you can get past life healings done. And don't give your power away. You are powerful AF too. And these are really great places that you can start as well. So, healing the witch wound on the spiritual perspective of that fear of being seen. So, throw me an emoji or let me know how that resonates with you. I would love to hear from you. Now, let's shift to the logical perspective, because I wanted to give you both ends of the spectrum, because, yeah, we are healers, and yeah, y'all have some really amazing gifts. I see you showing up in my stories, like all of the stories I see you showing up in the feed. I hear you in the DMs, like I know, and I, as an intuitive and an empath, I feel it. And what's really cool about this experience as well, and something that I really notice about sometimes within healers, is that it's really fun to play in like the 5D, 6D, like the higher realms, right? And that energy, and also we get to be grounded. Because we are a high vibrating soul, having a 3D human experience, as above, so below, yin and yang, sun and moon, fall and spring, summer, winter, like there's always opposite, masculine, feminine, right? And so it's we always have this as above, so below energy, this yin and yang energy. And so we need to be grounded as well, so we can experience the human experience. And this like really weird thing that we call a human body, like the brain blows my fucking mind. And so if you don't know this, or if you haven't seen, I am getting certified. I am learning rapid resolution therapy that was created by Dr. John Connolly. I started experiencing it about a year and a half or so ago. And I have had 3 one-on-one sessions this year. But after the first one-on-one session, I was like, holy shit, what just happened? I'm in. Sign me up. I need to learn how to do this. What? And so like I was like sticking it in my tool belt, and I did RRT last night on one of my Rising Phoenix clients, and we were laughing through the whole thing, and it was so much fun. And she just like felt clear through it. I gave her some like fun little steps that she can do in 90 seconds a day. That's really easy, super simple, and it's just creates so much liberation. So first things first, when we look at it through the RRT lens, I'm going to call it RRT, but it's rapid resolution therapy. I want to share with you a little bit about what exactly it is, and I want to share with you the perspective of it through the RRT lens. So what exactly is RRT? Let me take a drink really quick. Okay. So RRT is a form of psychotherapy that was created by Dr. John Connolly to neutralize traumas and relieve the pain of without having to relieve the pain or the emotions from the experience without having to relive the experience itself. So what we know about therapy is that, we're talking about the experiences, right? That's what we've known. And so in this was originally designed for combat veterans and women who have experienced sexual abuse, but it has been proven so effective and transformative for even things like anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and any other unhelpful emotions that we are experiencing. So their perspective is that we do not have to relive the pain of the experience to experience freedom and liberation. And I wouldn't even believe it for myself if I didn't experience it myself, because I come from this space of feel the feelings. Feel is to heal. And of course, that's part of the human experience, right? And this one blew my mind so much from the trauma that I was experiencing, the panic attacks that I had. I had been panic attack and anxiety and depression free for years. And something happened. I had a huge tower moment and was back to having severe anxiety. I wasn't really sleeping. I was exhausted. I was always crying. I was having not great and very unhelpful thoughts. I was having panic attacks in the shower at 2 a.m. in the morning. There was one time that my husband got in the shower with me and just picked me up and just held me. He's like, I need you to breathe. And this, after this session, it was gone. And I was like, what is this hoodoo shit? I need to learn how to do this. So with RRT, it is using things like metaphors, storytelling, visuals, and hypnosis to help the unconscious mind make adjustments to these unhelpful emotions, right? So through the lens of RRT, when it comes to the fear of being seen, here's what I want you to think about when it comes to, let me show you something. I want to show you something, and then I want to share with you something in a different perspective. And I love these. This is not a great pillow to show, but we're just going to do this. Okay. So my Zen Den is also our spare bedroom. So when it comes to the unconscious mind, when we have an experience, whether it is a big T trauma, little T trauma, or something we wouldn't even consider would be a trauma. But what happens is when this experience happens that is less than awesome, what mind does is it's like taking a pillow. Again, this is not a great example of this pillow, but this is all I got, so we're rolling with it. So we're taking this nice flat pillow, and what happens is bam, this thing happened in 2nd grade. And now we got a handprint in the pillow, right? And so we don't know that this thing, and then we're like, bam, this thing happened in 9th grade. And then bam, this thing happened in my junior year of high school, right? And we're leaving all of these handprints. I'm using a pillow, but this, pretend this is your brain. We're leaving all these handprints are just left in our brain, and they're continuing to affect us in our unconscious mind. So our unconscious mind is now scanning for the threat to prevent us from being safe, or to prevent us from essentially dying because of the way that mind perceived that situation. It imprinted into the mind. And so now it's scanning for the threat. And so what we do with RRT, rapid resolution therapy, is we take it and we smooth it out. We free and clear without reliving the experience. And we can sleep peacefully and live with ease and show up in our power. So when it comes to the fear of being seen, what I see for you is this, and you don't even have to see this for you, but what I see for you is you showing up on stories, showing up on live, meeting these really cool people and passing or even sharing with friends. This is the thing I do. And you think about this at night and you're just yeah. Actually, I shared this thing in real life and it was no big deal. And they responded really neutral, and that was really cool. And I didn't even really think much about it. And so that's what I see for you. And that's what we get to have when it comes to, the experience through the lens of RRT. And so the perspective that I want to, the other thing that I wanted to share with you was this. I want you to imagine that you are at like an airport or something. Like you're walking through an airport and you're like, oh, I have time to kill. Like I've already checked in. I found exactly where it is that I need to go. And so I'm going to go to this little store. And so you pick up a magazine. You're like, you thumb through it. You're like, yeah, nah, I'm going to put this back. And you pick up another one and you're like, oh shit, this is gross. Put that one back. I don't want to look at that one. Then you pick up another one, you thumb through it and you're like, this is all right. And you put it back. Then you pick up the fourth magazine and you're like super engrossed. You're like, okay, I see this. Like, what's J-Lo up to or whatever? It doesn't matter what you're into. But like, you're really engrossed in this magazine article and what it has to say. And the world just kind of tunes out for, a good 3 to 5 minutes. And then you're like, that was interesting. And you put it back totally neutral. You just put it back. You're like, cool. I'm going to go hang out and sit down. And as you're walking out the room or out this little store in the airport, a gentleman walks up to you and he goes, hey, I saw you checking out those magazines. And you're like, yeah. Like there's a couple ones I was like, and there was one you definitely don't want to look at because that was really gross. But yeah, I really got into one. He's like, great, cool. What did you learn about yourself with the magazine? And you're like, I'm sorry, what? Nothing. I didn't learn anything about myself. And he's like, well, what did you learn about you? And you're like, nothing. I learned nothing about myself. And so when we look at it through this lens, it's like, other people are viewing, are taking in ones and zeros, right? They're taking in data in through their mind. They're taking in their own perception of us. It means nothing. We learn nothing about ourselves when there is a perception about us. But what we do learn about ourselves is what we know about ourselves, and that gets to be it. And so it's like, you have this really incredible, like super, super long, like it's a really incredibly beautiful hot day out, right? And you've got the super, super long, like hose hooked up to the side of the house, and you turn on the water and without a shadow of a doubt that you're going to get from here to here, right? You are going to turn on that water. There's no kinks. It's just kind of spiraled out all the way to, the water sprinkler, whatever it is. And you know that the water is going to come out the other end of the hose. Sometimes what happens is that hose gets kinked. We take on other people's perceptions. We make it mean something about us. And when we walk over to that kink, we simply unravel it and make it so it's just like a nice little spiral out to the sprinkler. It means nothing. And we know the water is always going to flow and we're always going to end up safe. It's always going to be safe. So I hope this was supportive for you. If you are curious about RRT, keep watching. I have something badass that I'm working on behind the scenes. I'm also that'll be RRT based. I'm actually getting ready to hop on my final RRT, Rapid Resolution Therapy training here in about 8 minutes, so I have to go. But I wanted to, go check out the Healing the Witch Wound Workbook in the link in my bio. And also make sure that you keep watching my stories, keep watching my post. Go watch the inner child perspective and let me know how that resonates with you, and read the post because I have a next step for you, but not many people are catching that. So definitely read that part. I'll be incorporating this in addition to my intuitive and psychic abilities, in addition to the healing that I already do within my coaching containers, within the Rising Phoenix, within the Business Academy and coaching that I'm certified and trained in. I'm also going to be incorporating RRT to help you free and clear without pain and without reliving the experience. So let me know how this resonated. I'm super excited to come to you and share more with you. Do some of the visualization and the journaling and slide into my DMs and let me know how it supported you. And I will talk to you soon.